Now that Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is out in theaters, a lot of fans around the world are very excited about the future of the franchise by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this movie was a foundation to create new Star Wars lore. That's one thing that director J.J. Abrams and co-writer Chris Terrio wanted to do with this new movie, is that they really wanted to use this movie as a base in order to develop new Star Wars material, new content, if you will, for future movies, TV shows, comics, books. I mean, the list goes on and on. And as of now, Disney and Lucasfilm, they are going through a very tough phase, and that is, of course, for developing the new Star Wars trilogy, also known as the fourth trilogy, or the series of 3 Star Wars movies that are going to be released throughout this entire decade that is really going to evolve the franchise. It's really going to give fans a different taste of Star Wars. It's going to have a different tone, if you will, which I think is really going to be a very exciting piece of exactly what they're really trying to do with Star Wars in general and how they're not going to 100% rely on nostalgia. Now, with that being done and said, the one thing about Episode 9 is that, yes, a lot of fans hated the movie, some fans loved the movie. It really is a mixed thing right now among the Star Wars community. But one thing is for sure is that these new Star Wars films are a complete mystery as to exactly how it's going to really pull the audience in. And with that being said, it's explained that both Disney and Lucasfilm are currently developing an entire roadmap for the future of the Star Wars franchise, where it's said that Disney's CEO, Bob Iger, and Kathleen Kennedy are in the middle of coming up with planning of the future films and live-action TV series, as well as animated shows to come for Disney Plus and more. One of the big priorities that Disney has at the moment is the 4th Star Wars trilogy that will bring fans to a brand new era of Star Wars. Kevin Feige is said to have some form of a role and is trying to get actors Keanu Reeves and Kit Harington on board for the new Star Wars film dubbed as Star Wars X, where it's also noted that this new Star Wars film will be inspired from Star Wars The Old Republic and will create tons of brand new Jedi for the future of the franchise, as well as new dark side warriors. Disney is looking to film also over in the United States for these new films, and especially for the first film, and that they are looking to film the first movie over in Alaska to create a different environment for a future Star Wars film to create new and unique worlds, where it's also said that they are looking for ways to bring a return of Yoda into the series, given that Baby Yoda is so popular in Star Wars The Mandalorian TV series on Disney Plus, and that they are finding ways to bring back Yoda in the new trilogy of films, as well as bringing in many prequel trilogy references, which would suggest that they will be going backward before the events of the prequel trilogy, where it said that also Jon Favreau will be involved with the new series in some way, shape, or form, with the new Star Wars movie on a creative level to give fans something truly entertaining. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and as to why the 4th trilogy, I believe, is a light at the end of the tunnel here for Star Wars in general. Now, when we look at Star Wars, obviously a lot of fans, including myself, had a lot of issues with how the sequel trilogy was handled, mainly with The Last Jedi, because I will say that The Force Awakens was an entertaining movie at best. Yes, it pretty much was A New Hope beat for beat to a certain level, but The Last Jedi really did it for me to the point where I really just did not like that movie. I hated the film, actually, by Rian Johnson. And then The Rise of Skywalker came along, where it really was an emotional roller coaster for me. I loved some scenes and I hated some scenes. And now that they're on to this new mythology of how they're trying to bring on, actors from Game of Thrones like Kit Harington and stuff around those lines, and even actor Keanu Reeves, who's been well known for the Matrix franchise and the John Wick franchise and many other series and movies out there, and the fact that they're really trying to also bring back the character of Yoda in some way, shape, or form is also truly surprising. Now, this falls directly in line with how they are trying to make loose connections to the Skywalker saga, obviously. So, with Keanu Reeves and everything related to Kit Harington, of who they're trying to get on board, and how Kevin Feige is actually set to play a role in all of this for the first Star Wars film dubbed as Star Wars X, you can really see what Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to do. They are truly trying to really put the Star Wars franchise back together in order to reunite the fans and to really bring Star Wars back to what it was before, Disney made a lot of mistakes with The Last Jedi and even made some minor mistakes with The Force Awakens. So, the one thing I will say about the fourth trilogy that really does excite me is, of course, how they're planning on all these prequel trilogy references and how they're trying to bring back Yoda into the mix and how Jon Favreau, of all people, is going to play a large role in the development of this movie, given that The Mandalorian is such a good TV series, such a good show on Disney+. I'm so happy to hear that Jon Favreau will be a part of the new series, the new trilogy, if you will, of Star Wars films that will be released and is going to evolve the franchise into something completely new for the audience once we go ahead and see these movies in the near future. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.